here, 60X Custom Strings. Today I'm going to explain to you how to sight in a crossbow. Most crossbows these days come with scope packages on them. In most of the crossbow scopes, you will see multiple reticles. So you won't just have an X in the center, what you aim off of. You will have multiple lines. So your top line in your scope is always your closest distance. So the best thing to do is to set that up first. Get the crossbow out of the box, put it together, start up close like 10 yards. Fire one shot. That'll get you an idea of what you have to do from that point. Normally up at 10 yards you're not going to miss the target. So it's a safe distance to fire the first shot. You don't lose an arrow, and then you can fine tune it from there. So it's not like sighting in a regular bow where you don't follow with a bow sight you follow your arrow, you chase your arrow. With this it's more like sighting in a rifle or a rifle scope. So on the top of your scope you're going to have a cap, and under that cap you're going to see something that looks like this, where it'll have your up and down adjustment. So say you shoot your target and you hit high, okay? Now you look at the top underneath and it'll tell you what direction is up or what direction is down. Every scope, I believe, is a little bit different. So this diagram here, if we turn it to the left or counterclockwise, it's going to move your point of impact up. So whatever direction it says here is going to be which way your impact is going to move. So if you're hitting high, you're going to want to turn this counterclockwise, the opposite direction of this arrow. That'll move the point of impact down. So, and also underneath each scope cap is normally 1 click equals so much of an inch at a certain distance. Typically you get 1 click equals 1/4 inch at 100 yards. The higher quality of the scope, the more accurate that is. As far as your left and right goes, on the right side of your scope, underneath that scope cap is a diagram like this. It's same as the up and down one, except for it'll say left or right. Same goes for that. If you're hitting to the left, you want to turn this to the right. So to turn this one to the right, our arrow's pointing to the left here. So we'll turn this counterclockwise to move the point of impact to the right. Your other lines in the scope, most people set the top crosshair at 20 yards. These should be fairly close to 30, 40, or 50. However many reticles you have is normally 10 yards increments. What I have found is some bows with certain arrows on them, they're not calibrated exactly. So what I have done in the past for people is we'll set the top one for 20 yards, go back to 30 yards and shoot the second one. It might be 28 yards, it might be 34 yards. Whatever that distance is, I write that on the top of the scope. Say the next one is 42 yards, it hits dead on. Just keep moving back till you hit dead center. Then I will write on here on the top of the scope, 42 yards. So instead of 20, 30, and 40, my crosshairs might be 20, 34, and 42. But I have those numbers written on the top, so when I'm hunting, I can look down at those numbers and I memorize them, and you know what they are. You don't have to think about it. When a deer comes in, you know what the distance is. It's almost second nature to you. Those are some helpful tips on sighting in a crossbow. Tune in next time for our next adventure.